Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to the Pain Clinic it's the first Saturday in April, April 4th. Holidays today. It's something on a stick day. Always one of my favorites, toast on a stick. Who can forget that? Oh, wait a second. These are the same ones that I did last week. Oh man, I did not get new ones because something on a stick is just kind of quite the appropriate holiday when you're thinking of spring, right? Spring, but actually, I'll tell you what the real holidays are right now. We are April 4th. It
Kind of
is,
like Cash for a second. I thought you were going to make a very off-color joke about something being on a stick and it being Easter season.
oh my goodness. No, no, no. Today we've got Hug a Newsman Day. There you go. School Librarian Day. Tell a Lie Day. Walk around things day. That means don't stop over them. And World Rat Day. So those are all those wonderful holidays for April 4th. And of course, going through the birthdays, I haven't had a chance to look at them either. I'm guessing probably maybe not a lot of birthdays, but let's find out what kind of birthdays do we got going on today in the world of pro wrestling. There's a couple places online where you can always find this great information, and I appreciate it being there. April 4th, Chelsea Green. Happy birthday, Chelsea Green. How old do you think Chelsea Green is? You have an idea, DC? Did I
I don't
lose
think
you?
it's appropriate to talk about a woman's age, Cash.
You are correct too, though. I will tell you she was born in the 90s. Okay. We'll just throw that out there. So happy birthday, Chelsea Green. One of my favorites on working for WWE, even though she's been in a wheelchair for about 2 months now. Let me introduce the host and crew here. I'm Cashman. I'm here with DC Dan Cole from NC. What's the weather like down there in NCDC?
It is currently sunny and 73.
Yeah, we're going through kind of a warm ring here. Got Rob Sanderson joins us as well. Rob, how are you doing today? Parts unknown Rochester. Yeah. Well, let's see.
Maybe I'm unmuted now. Hello. Good morning.
You are unmuted now.
Yeah. Good morning. It's colder than it was yesterday. Um,
Well, it's 70 something yesterday, so it's hard, especially in the month of April
and
here.
it's always good when you look at the forecast yesterday and it says high of 77, low of 37. So I didn't look to see what today is yet, but that's a little bit too big of a range.
Yeah, I would agree. Though I will say yesterday it looked like a perfect day to go catch a ball game. The Red Wings are back in the swing of it, and they had a double header yesterday. So, but I just want one more plug, and then we'll get into what we're going to talk about. Hey, interested in roller derby? Want to be a skater, officiate? Rock City Roller Derby needs you. Contact recruitment at rockderbyrecruitment@gmail.com and join Rock City Roller Derby if you're the men's team. Flower City Fear, FLOUR, flowercityfear.com. Check them out. Just 1 week from today, I'll be going to Queen City, Riverworks, Rock City versus Riverworks. So I'm going to be doing some announcing in Buffalo next weekend. But this weekend. It's April 4th, and some things that I want to talk about. At least we will go through is why not Jericho? Mania's coming. Cena has a place in Mania now. NXT is coming around here. We'll talk about that. And man. I don't know if you saw that crazy Io Sky land this past week, but man, I'm surprised Io Sky is not in the hospital. Okay. But we'll start off talking about this past
EO
week.
Sky's dive is kind of a perfect visualization for WWE this week.
Jumping through the ropes, having your feet catch the rope and go straight down into your, like a
You think you're about to see something exciting, and then you're just left wondering what just happened.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why is this lady still, there's not being rolled out on a gurney because man, that was vicious. But let's talk about first off, we start obviously we're deep into Mania season, Raw, pretty much another Raw where there's very little wrestling and much more talking and continuing buildup of the Punk Reigns matchup. But I will say, you're not going to get Reigns on TV this week, so I'll have to do a one-sided buildup. And then Reigns will be back before the go-home show in April, which will be 2 weeks from Monday. But watching Dynamite, and Dynamite, pulls out some prizes. They're in Winnipeg. Does it surprise you Chris Jericho makes his return to AEW? And I'm gonna say it, underwhelming crowd in Winnipeg. DC, what you think?
Yeah, if you can't get a bigger response than that in Canada, that should tell you everything you need to know. Yeah, that
And
that that was not a surprise I had on my bingo card for 2026 or anything that I had hoped for this year to hold for us.
you know, I was thinking maybe it's too early. I mean that's just me. But what do you think, Rob?
I don't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not incredibly surprised. I'm a little surprised that Winnipeg didn't care more, but that's not a good sign. Because if there's a place where that's a place where he's going to get the biggest reaction, the city specifically, and if that's as good as it gets, it's going to get bad really quick. I don't. We said it a lot last year and stuff. I mean, to me, the best move for everybody was Jericho to WWE. Best for WWE, best for Jericho, best for the WWE fans, best for the AEW fans, everything. And I just don't like you always get a pop when somebody comes back and it's a surprise. That's it. Like nobody like unless he's got some massive plan for some next chapter of Jericho, which he's done time and time again, but I just don't see it working this time. People, as soon as they get to other cities, especially when they get back to the States, people are not wanting this. And the overall picture, again, I mean, not to be negative about the entire company as a whole, but I don't like seeing that right now in the matter of a couple weeks, Jericho, the three members of the Hurt Business or Syndicate or whatever it is now,
Yeah.
Edge and Christian or whatever you want to call them, like we're right back to all of these former WWE 50 plus, not traditional. It's not the AEW alternative. It's the ex WWE that's pushing through right now, and I it's too much of it all at once.
I get that completely. To me, it seems like every year around WrestleMania time is a time when AEW kind of showcases some of these ex WWE guys a little bit more. And I think it's because they're trying to take advantage of the time of year and everything. But as soon as the music stopped on Wednesday night, man, there wasn't a lot of pop behind it. They don't quite
I
have.
mean, I think it was horribly executed. Like, how long? Yes, it maybe was intentional at the start, but like the crowd's not reacting anymore. Start talking. Get this segment over with because you've got that, and then you've got like the MJF thing or whatever with
Yeah.
Omega, and like the first bell was at 8:26 Eastern for a 2-hour Dynamite. Like that's WWF Raw from 2000.
Yeah.
And I don't like I'm not opposed to starting the show with a talking segment and stuff. Like I liked Raw in 2000, but nothing was happening. It was just Jericho standing there hoping people would get louder and they didn't. Like they're done with the sing along. They gave you a pop. They gave you kind of like a okay, sympathy pop, like we're still supposed to make noise.
Yeah.
And then like it's still going. It's like, oh my God, can we please move on? Like grab the microphone already. I didn't like that at all. I really think whether it's Jericho, I mean it's probably Jericho's obviously got control enough to do what he wants to an extent. And so I put a lot of that on him to not recognize like, hey, I'm starting to look like an idiot here. Like maybe I should start talking, even if I'm only going to say one sentence or whatever. Like just do it already and move on. Give those extra 3 minutes to a match or whatever.
That's when we were when we were watching it, I was texting, and it's kind of what it brought me back to when I think it was like he had like 4 or 5 appearances in WWE before he ever said a word. A few years ago, you remember that he was walking around and nobody he would stay out until the pop died. And so it was it reminded it was like, oh my God, please don't do this again. We've already been there. No, listen, I don't hate Jericho. I mean, sure, he's got some innovative ideas. He's probably had a lot of time to think about, where he wants to go now he's come back. And there's rumors going around that it's not a short term. And actually, lots of people coming out and saying that he would have signed with the WWE if it wasn't for the fact that they were only going to give him 1 year and they were going to do the retirement tour and have him lose to Gunther eventually and be retired. And he didn't want to do that. He's like, and so that's why he held out, to come back to AEW. You might have some good ideas. Remember, I mean, who would have thunk that you're on the list was ever going to be a good thing until after about a month of him doing it. So there's probably some good ideas in there as long as he can handle not being in the main event, not holding heavyweight title for like say Ring of Honor or AEW, and there's a logical explanation and why he has he starts a feud with somebody, but we won't find that out till next week.
But who has he not already wrestled, and who is he not already formed a stable with? Like I just don't know what else there is for him to do there. I'm not excited about it at all. And again, that's not disrespect. I mean, I have plenty of reasons to like and dislike Jericho. I respect his career and how much he's done and everything, but it would have been refreshing to see him in WWE, the product that I don't even watch. But like, and taking up time on AEW, like I literally can't, like, a lot of the people there, the same people that were there that he feuded with before. Like I don't, I can't think of a single thing that intrigues me that he could do there now.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I mean, maybe he'll go and he'll pick apart Don Callis family or something since they have like a relationship or something. I don't know. They're
Is he going to give a progress report to Brian Keith and what the hell
oh
is his
yeah,
name? Big Bill?
Are they
Big
still on
Bill.
the roster? Yeah.
I think so.
That working with Jericho really benefited those two as well.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, but then there's the guy who worked with a lot, and Sammy Guevara. Oh wait, he's not on TV. Jake Hager's gone. Santana's gone. Ortiz is barely there. People
yeah.
would probably think he's gone. Um, like I appreciate that he did, put people over, Orange Cassidy and others and stuff.
Yeah.
It hasn't. He was his run as the first champion was the right call, and it was really good. Problem was that, like, that was over 5 years ago at this point, and since then there's nothing to report about that was significant. What the Jericho Appreciation Society? Matt Menard not on TV. Angelo Parker not on TV. Like Sammy Guevara, same thing again. Anna Jay not on TV. I just Daniel Garcia, did he benefit from the Jericho time? I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah. It's good. What's funny is he was at Turning Stone last night, and he was doing his Kiss cover band. Friend Mike DeGiorgio, friend of all, I'm guessing, was there and was posting some videos from him doing Quarantine, I think is the name of their Jericho, the Chris cover band. But he was there last night wearing a purple jacket, which, well, he must like purple now because it seems to be his color. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I mean, what was it a bigger deal? He comes back or Sheeta making her return to lose to Willow Nightingale on Dynamite this past week, because that was another return. They
Another
always like
awkward return.
Yeah, I feel bad because I love Sheeta. I thought she was great, but
She is great, but yeah, bringing her back just to lose, and but I mean, it's a really weird time too, because again, like I know, like, we talked about how the schedule varies throughout the year for AEW and stuff, but you got a pay-per-view in a week, and like, oh, Jericho's back now. Oh, Sheeta's maybe back now. Like, oh, the Hurt Business, whatever. Like all these, like, we had a pay-per-view in a week. Can we just focus on that? Like, are all these people going to be shoved onto the pay-per-view now? Like, I don't know. It's bringing Sheeta back just to make her lose, which is how many times have they done that exact thing to Riho and others? Like, um, I don't know. It was good to see her on TV at least. I guess maybe it's not all negative, but bring her back and put her with someone who's not a champion and let her win. And then she can lose to Willow or something. It would be more significant to lose to Willow because she's built up some wins after returning from a year and a half. The booking this week was not great.
No, no, it wasn't. And I mean, yeah, you mentioned the hurt business.
Whatever it is, I don't even know what it is now. Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Well, people forever have been saying, "What's going on with them? What's going on with them?" Well, obviously, we know Bobby Lashley's been hurt for a while, and being part of the hurt business seems quite
Which would have
appropriate.
been like just give me Shelton and singles. That's what I want out of those three.
Yeah,
I don't care about the tag team. I don't care about the trio. Like give me all sorts of Shelton singles matches. That's what I want. And they
yeah.
didn't
I
do
mean,
it.
no, they didn't. They
Now
held
we and
Shelton
now we can
off.
get Shelton and Bobby Lashley against Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. You know, I do you feel that we're going to get titles changing at the pay-per-view 1 week from, was it today? Rebellion. I think it's 1 week from
Week
today.
from
Dynasty.
week from tomorrow.
Dynasty, sorry, Dynasty. That's what it was. Well, Rebellion's the TNA one that's going on. So yeah, do you think? I mean, is there a chance? Every time I think there's a chance for Christian and Edge, it doesn't. They end up just getting booked to lose. So I
I
don't
think
know.
it's a certainty that they will become AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Uh,
I
yeah,
I would say it's a 51% chance that it happens at Dynasty. It could be held off a little longer, but it's gonna happen.
yeah. Well, I mean, they have this built up feud with FTR, and it's been going that way for a while since FTR turned. Who's it? I can't. They turned on everybody, but I believe they turned on Cage, right? Uh, and well,
Well, they
obviously
attacked
Copeland.
they attacked Beth or whatever
Yeah,
when she
Attack Beth.
popped up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they've got that coming up. I mean, it's looking to be a good pay per view in general. We only, like I said, we got a week from tomorrow before we are. Yeah, it's Sunday, April 12th. We're hitting it, but we got Moxley and Osprey. I mean, they've spent a lot of time on TV building that up. We got this will be a good test. Andrade versus Darby. We'll see how that goes. MJF, Kenny Omega, and Thekla and Jamie Hayter. So there's some really solid matchups in there. But this past week, we've got I think it was just the week that they wanted to throw some people out there to wake people. Hey, these people are still in the company, because we haven't seen Mercedes Moné in a while too. I have a feeling Mercedes Moné will be coming back very soon too, as
Well,
well.
she's almost done dropping all of her belts, so it'll be time for her to come back and go after the women's championship.
I saw that
Well,
she
and interesting. I mean, she worked that indie show in Winnipeg the night before Dynamite, so maybe they felt that was too obvious to have her come back the next night, which that's fair. But I mean, if you got to go all the way up to Manitoba, like just take advantage of it. But it's not like there's just everybody back at one time is not a good thing, and again, AEW to me is the alternative product, and you had multiple weeks of really good ratings compared to what you've had in the past 6, 8 months, whatever. And what the best rating like 2 years at one point.
yeah.
Uh, why are like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep going with what you're doing that's making people watch. Now it's like, oh, here's a great time to bring back what is it, Ric Flair this week? Like, like, come on.
Yeah, we're Sting. He can come back, right? I mean, he's retired, but
Now that our ratings are great, yeah, let's bring back all these people that a lot of the fans don't want on the alternative product. Point blank. Like,
I will say one thing, at least, of the uneven show, we did get Speedball versus MJF to end the show
yes.
and that was fantastic. That was absolutely fun match. I mean, I don't want to see either of them lose, but But yeah, it was, I think this show is more on talking about people coming back than, than really doing anything significant. That and trying to build, obviously, the main event of Osprey and Moxley, which, for, it's tough for them to, because Mox was playing a tweener for a while and getting cheered. And now, but you put him up against Moxley, he's obviously the bad guy. And the way that they're, beating him up and everything and attacking his hurt neck or whatever, much like Kenny Omega's missing 12 inches of internal organs or whatever.
It could explode at any moment.
Any moment he could explode, which is kind of scary thought. That would cost a fortune in special effects, but yeah,
well, not if it was like the last time they did an exploding ring death match.
That's exactly what comes to mind, and I hate that.
As long as Eddie Kingston's around to cover us up,
sparklers. Right? It was like more like a Gilbert entrance.
There's some funny.
Let's not say Gilbert and give Tony Khan any more ideas right now. Who's
Gilbert. Next? Real quick, I am going to go back to the tag team championship discussion. I'm trying to decide if Cage and Cope win it this weekend or next weekend, or who's going to have it. But I'm calling my shot right now. London triple threat ladder match for the titles. Cage and Cope, FTR, Young Bucks.
Wow. I think that there's some old guys in that match, okay. I don't know about
there are, but it would be a big draw match.
There's some good draw. I mean, obviously, and there's going to be some great setups that was still to come that we suspect will happen, but especially with
I just
Osprey.
Like that you said London and then paused, and I'm thinking the first thing that came to mind was, is he going to say London Lightning? One half of the team that lost to FTR on Collision this week, in a match that I thoroughly enjoyed what they did. I really like London Lightning and Mojibari. They're two Canadian indie guys, and they had a bunch of other Canadian indie guys at ringside there, security, including Von Vertigo. I appreciated FTR doing something a little different there, playing possum, and then immediately going home. That was fun.
Yeah, I think the one guy, there was some funny moments in it too. It was I expected the worst and I didn't get that. So that's a big plus, especially for that one. And that's another thing, Collision on the next night. I mean, I know that we're in college basketball finals, and that's going to be going on today, I'm guessing. And so there's no room for Collision, but I loved Collision on Thursday. Are you kidding me? I got to watch 2 hours of AEW, and then I watched TNA after that. TNA is trying to set up a pay-per-view for next week, it's kind of odd, but as well as WWE having a pay-per-view for NXT tonight, which is, and you know what? They're offering it for free. You don't have to have any, the only thing you have to do is subscribe to WWE's YouTube page, and you can watch it because Peacock is out. And that's where NXT. Oh, that's where NXT. Sorry, I was just watching. I haven't got the AEW Dynamite on, and I just saw a three-way women trying to do a three-way suplex, and it kind of
fell apart. Oh boy!
It kind of fell apart.
That was a loaded sentence.
You mean the same spot that they did earlier in the night in a different match? When that happened, and it was such a disaster. Immediately I'm like, are the agents talking to each other? How is this spot happening again 45 minutes after it already happened on the same TV show?
Yeah.
That is not good. Not a good job by whoever is coaching those matches. That's a spot that does not need to happen, not only more than once in a show, but more than once in a month.
And they didn't pull it off either. The women,
it was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing with the women is they're all different heights, and you got Shirakawa and Tekla who are the shortest of all of them, and so it kind of was uneven when it was going up. Anyways, I'm sorry I made that reaction.
Yeah. I've seen that spot go terribly many times, but that was maybe the terribliest that I've seen.
Crump. Just kind of, it's kind of, now I can't remember what you're talking about.
They went in all different directions. I don't even know how that's physically possible.
Well, not everything. The good thing is they did have good numbers. They obviously didn't keep their growth that they've had the last month or so, but they didn't drop too much either. So one good thing is this past Dynamite didn't injure too much because, and I think, and as much as I don't want to say it, I think Jericho obviously will probably draw numbers because he's going to talk next week. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out what he's up to besides quarantine and at Turning Stone Casino last night. But yeah, no, sorry, I got that completely sidetracked me. I'm watching this three on two duplex and part in the middle of it. It's like, oh, it's like doing it like in high school when we used to do the pyramids and everyone would get down pyramid and then eventually it would fall apart because someone was wiggling on the top. That's what it reminded me of. But yeah, so but I think, yeah, I mean, hopefully people aren't turned off too much by this past week. We did get some good interview segments, and how we complained last week about how Monday Night Raw had what was it, 30 minutes of in 2.5 hours of wrestling. I think they kind of picked up on that a little bit this week because they actually had more wrestling going on. But I did want to, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about.
They may have this week, but I just saw that cage match rating for last night's SmackDown, which is listed right now as the worst rating in the history of WWE televised programs as of right now. Some WWE tribalists will probably go and try to fix the rating, but as of right now, it was only behind that whatever Heroes of Wrestling show and one other really terrible show. It's the third worst show of all time in terms of ratings in professional wrestling from fans on Cage Match. So
wow,
that's not good.
Well, why don't we talk about it just for a second? Last night, SmackDown. It's like it's always, I hate feeling like every time we talk about what they're doing, I'm second guessing everything they're doing. And last night you start the show off with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, but you add a X factor in, and that X factor is Pat McAfee, and everyone's scratching their head why. Because he's so influential in helping people win. No, I have no idea why. It just, to me, it felt definitely like stunt booking last night on WWE. Listen, I like McAfee. He does a great job. He's fun to listen to announce, but this is not an announcing return for him. This is I'm going to side with Randy Orton and be in his corner for WrestleMania, most likely. And he also said that if Randy Orton loses, he'll never be involved in wrestling ever again, which, may be a way to write him out because he's got a lot of things going on, including, he's making movies and he's got his daily show, and he's really been, I don't know if you read this past week about him, but he's been out of shape because he's not allowed to do the Masters. His group are a bunch of derelicts that drop F-bombs on radio shows. You think the Masters want you to be on their property doing a radio show when you guys,
Oh, you don't like Dude Bro Sports Talk?
Yeah. This is, they're wondering why nobody wanted them to be at the Masters. It's like, because, well, I mean, they have standards and practices, and I think that, I mean, listen, not that I'm any better than anybody else, but I really try not to use profanity, as much as I can. And what I learned in radio is you couldn't use profanity. And so they, and that's not like a selling point on their show. It just happens, and it's like, if you ever seen their show on ESPN, they can say certain words, but man, there's certain words that just get completely muted. In fact, last night they were Pat McAfee was muted several times cutting a promo using the language that he does. I just didn't feel like, he was the guy that Randy Orton was on the phone with, was Pat McAfee. You're telling me Pat McAfee's more important than maybe Kevin Owens helping you against like one of his best friends. I mean, if you're trying to raise a story, it just doesn't make sense.
Pat McAfee, the expert on wrestling royalty and families.
Yeah. It's I mean, knew he was coming back when college football ended, but then I find out he's making a movie and he's doing all this other stuff, and it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like him when he announces. He does keep it clean when he's announcing. But it's like, I just, I saw that story about him earlier this week about how they're all upset that they're not allowed to go to the Masters and, do the week of programming from the Masters. And it's like, of course, you look at your crew, man, listen to the language coming out of them. You think that's that's not the upper echelon snobby people from, the Masters that they want. They want the monotonous, guys who, just continually promote and not use bad language. So I just wanted to throw it out there because when he showed up last night, it's like, wow, what does McAfee have to do? First of all, if Cody Rhodes didn't think he was going to get kicked in the lower section when both Randy Orton and McAfee were wearing the same T-shirt after Randy Orton beat up Cody Rhodes in the corner or whatever, or then obviously Cody Rhodes came back and knocked Randy Orton down. If you didn't think he was with him, it's like I don't know. It felt like stunt booking, and I just not a fan of it. And it's like obviously, I'm sure Pat will come back to announcing, and he'll probably play the heel announcer after that, which I wouldn't have a problem with at all either. I'm a big fan of heel announcers. We don't really get a good heel announcer like I don't know. I'm trying to think of who was a good heel. Jerry Lawler used to be a good heel announcer for a while, and
What about Michael Cole and the coal mine?
oh God, it was terrible. Yeah, that or Nigel. Nigel. Some people call him a heel when he was doing a heel announcing for a while, but they haven't really had a really solid. I mean, Jesse Ventura as well, a long time ago, but man,
Bobby
I don't
Heenan.
know. Bobby Heenan, yeah, certainly Bobby Heenan. So, but who knows? We'll see. But I think this is just stunt booking to maybe draw a few more people. I think that they're still hurting to draw anything.
Wait,
It's
so
funny.
what is he doing? He's managing or he's wrestling or what?
He was with him, but it didn't say he was like managing him. It's like, but Randy Orton was on the phone with him the last 2 weeks backstage. Who's Randy Orton on the phone with? Who's Randy Orton on the phone with? Pat McAfee.
I mean, I'll give WWE one thing. Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. If it was Kevin Owens, yes, it would have made sense completely, but maybe Kevin Owens is not ready to come back yet.
You say then if Randy Orton loses, then McAfee's done with wrestling stuff? Is that what you were, or
Yeah,
was it?
he said
he
that.
can never challenge again for the AEW World Championship.
He's another one on the list. Yeah. Oh man.
I'm
Yeah,
okay with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Who knows? But I think that it just doesn't make much sense. And then last night, like you said, Rob, that the cage match and in general, it's the time where
I see that the fans have already bumped up the show from a 0.33 to a 0.55. So they're trying to help it out, but it is still no, I take it back. It's moved to fourth from third.
Oh yeah.
As WCW Thunder number 109 from April 26, 2000 is now worse. It's past that at least. So congratulations to SmackDown from last night. It is no longer as bad as DDP and David Arquette versus Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett's. Syracuse. Yeah.
Oh,
the title chain.
Yeah, that's what
show's worse than last night's SmackDown now.
Yeah, that's when David Arquette won it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what a show that was. Sting against the wall. Billy Kidman versus Horace Hogan. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That it's interesting is
the cat beat Bam Bam Bigelow in 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's disrespectful. I don't remember that.
Well, then it was a bad show in general, but there was a lot of things that happened on it, like Uncle Howdy beating Tama Tonga.
That'll put some butts in seats.
I'm gonna say I think the whole Wyatt Six are kind of. As much as we wanted that to be something special, it's not what Bray Wyatt was doing before he unfortunately died. He wasn't working towards
trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. So we got Aleister Black versus Matt Cardona, with Black beating Cardona last night. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss taking on Bailey and Lyra Valkyria, and that, of course, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss won. Damian Priest and R-Truth versus The Miz and Kit Wilson, which it was for the titles. And then I think I fell asleep at that point because then Sami Zayn and Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. Championship. At least we got a solid match. Sami Zayn beating Carmelo Hayes once again, and that's how the night ended. But it was like, yeah,
I hate to say this, but just off of the card that you're reading there, it doesn't sound that bad to me compared to other WWE shows. And I know I saw the clip of Danhausen trying to tag in on
yeah.
that Miz match, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, that
I'm
doesn't
scared.
sound. I
I'm
like
scared.
Charlotte and a lot
Yeah,
of those people you mentioned, but oh,
I'm scared that Danhausen's going to get wrecked. They're trying to insert him. Obviously, he wants to be with that group of the Miz, Kit Wilson, Damian Priest, and obviously R-Truth, because R-Truth was calling him Oscar last night because he doesn't. I don't know.
is it the face paint?
Obviously, because the face paint. Yeah, he said.
I
He's like,
mean,
no,
if
no.
so, are they maybe teasing that like Danhausen's first match will be at WrestleMania? I wonder.
Well, I mean, he was trying to tag in, so it looks like it's going to happen.
I
You
would have
know,
rather had him as the host of WrestleMania, but if they want to build, I mean, you could build that up where, I mean, I have seen a lot of comments online from fans who, WWE fans who did not understand Danhausen at all at first. They hated on him. And people were literally commenting now, like, I didn't like this guy, but this guy is great. On like the comments from that appearance last night of like, uh, he can't get tagged in. Then he grabs the tag rope, and then I think it was Wade Barrett was like, "That wasn't the problem. He still can't be tagged in. He's not in the match, whatever and stuff." But
yeah,
um,
what happened? Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
basically.
he's not a revolutionary in ring wrestler, but at, if he gets a match at Mania, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. And it's like, the thing is don't you think, he's kind of like he does the curse thing to people, and and then he like for instance, he cursed the referee last night, and so the referee was counting a 3 count, and on the third one, his arm froze up, and he couldn't bring it down because he was cursed. That let Damian Priest and R-Truth win. And then he uncursed him backstage. If you saw that, it was a backstage segment that was just for the internet later. But you might as well put him with Uncle Howdy, man. If they're going to be like, crazy, creepy, mystic creatures, give him Danhausen, man. Put the mystics together, or whatever. I don't know.
Just disband the Wyatt thing. I mean, that's not it. It's not helping the legacy whatsoever at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, like I pro wrestling is pro wrestling, and so like I am fine with doing funny, ridiculous things, but I guarantee you a lot of the people that are just like, oh my God, I'm so entertained by the ref not being able to count three, like are the same people who are just like, Orange Cassidy's got his hands in his pockets
yeah.
and all this stuff. It's like it's pro wrestling, guys. Like just be entertained. It's literally world wrestling entertainment. Like it's okay that that's happening, but I don't know. It's gonna bring out a whole new side of hypocrisy like this country needs any more of it.
Why not? Yeah, I just things that are the same are different when it's in your company versus another. So yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. Now, listen, I'm liking Danhausen, but I have a bad feeling that they're going to wreck him at some point. Something's going to happen, and they're gonna not let him figure out what to do, and he's going to be told what to do, and it's going to wreck him. Or they're going to make him wrestle, and he's going to get hurt, and we're not going to see him for 6 months. So we will
I
see.
mean, I've seen a lot of smart decisions they've made so far in the way they've been booking Danhausen. I guess my main thing is with him, like, you've got gold, don't give it all away at once. Like, continue to hold off on giving him a match. Don't have him appear multiple times on every TV show every week. Like they're they can be creative and come up with new things for him to do. And all these years that he's been doing that character, he still finds ways to ridiculously entertain people all
Yeah.
the time. But I still like, to me, with him, like you don't give it all away to the point where in a month you're just like, all right, we're out of ideas already. Like, So if he doesn't WrestleMania, that's fine with me as well. Like hold that off even longer. But
Yeah, yeah, I have a problem. Yeah, that's fine too as well. As long as he can keep coming out and being entertaining, and I mean, obviously, someone, I think if the Miz was smart, which he isn't, he goes, I don't believe in any of that stuff. If he did believe in it, he could use it to his advantage. But that's all kind of, deep booking things that could happen in the future. But so I do want to mention something too on Raw this past week. Stephanie McMahon show and brought out Cody and basically giving Cody advice, telling Cody that he needs to be deep down and get into the darkest part of Cody to take on Randy Orton. And then Cody had a good line where Stephanie slapped him, and then he said something about how she's not something about she took a shot at Vince McMahon, which he said it was something where he's like, you're not even the worst, most evil McMahon or something like that, and he didn't say his name obviously, but I think that it was I don't know why Stephanie's involved. I don't know. I question everything they do. She's not a selling point, and she's going into the Hall of Fame, so maybe they got to find some way to get her involved. I have a strange feeling that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be doing something sometime soon before Mania, because they're getting pretty desperate with trying to sell this thing, and I think that his name keeps popping up in like flashbacks and things like that. So, it was, but the other thing I wanted to mention is on Monday Night Raw, Io Sky. I don't know if you guys saw, but man, she took a nasty fall outside of the ring against Raquel Rodriguez, where she was doing a dive and her feet caught the rope, and which is always seems to be something that happens in wrestling, that someone may tear, and she landed like right on her head and her neck, and then popped up immediately. And I was like, oh my God, she's done. And then I've seen because it's April 1st, a lot of funny pictures of her in a hospital bed in traction and things like that. But man, the way she landed, it looked like she could have done some serious damage. And then she was on SmackDown last night, so I said, okay, she must be okay. She came out, helped Rhea Ripley when Rhea was getting beat up. But I don't know if you had chance. I'm sure you've seen the meme because it's going around with her diving out of the ring and having her feet get caught, and the people who are supposed to catch her were a little too far out and could not move in closer to get her before she went straight down on top of her head. And it was like, man, that's scary. And it's like, and thank God, I was glad that there was none of the truth behind her being hurt. But since we were talking about Danhausen, I do want to mention something about Danhausen too. I read this and I put it in the news, and I know it was an April 1st joke, but there's WWE, but someone posted WWE is teaming up with Danhausen for a special activation activity tied to charitable cause set to take place outside Allegiant Stadium during WrestleMania Saturday festivities. Said WWE will host several fan activation booths where attendees can take part in an unusual initiative, donating a tooth to mark Danhausen's long-awaited WrestleMania debut. Fans interested in participating begin with a process immediately as pre-registration and dental record submissions officially opened April 1st. Ha 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 ha. So yes, I kind of like, what? I mean, what else could you do with him, I guess, but I thought that was pretty funny. Very interesting.
I mean, how many wrestling fans think that's legitimate and are ready and are signing up? I mean, probably a good portion. So
he had his jar of teeth with him last night when he came down to the ring. So that's still a part of what he does. So let me talk about some other things. Oh, NXT is coming to Riverworks. You guys may have seen the announcement. I don't know. It is going to be, was it a week before ESW? Is that what it is?
A week after.
Oh, the week. Okay, so
exactly
that's not bad.
A week after. Yeah, no, we've known about this because of figuring out announcement times and everything with stuff. It's I don't know. It's a little weird with. Had ESW not been booked first, there probably would be some of those issues with like, oh, you can't have another wrestling show in this venue within X amount of days and blah, blah, blah. But
yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to see NXT when they're on tour, they're going to be in Buffalo at Riverworks on Thursday, September 6th.
Oh, it's a Thursday?
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
Wait a second. Did you just say September?
Yeah.
I thought they were there on May 15th, like Friday, May 15th, a week after ESW.
Yeah, maybe I
Am
got
I
the
wrong?
wrong date. I think no, I think I wrote the wrong day because it's not Thursday's not September 6th. It's yeah, what is it? Because I had the link up
I'm
and it's
pretty sure
like
it's exactly 1 week after the next ESW show,
and
which is
that's
only
yeah,
5 weeks away. So 6 weeks away for NXT from last night.
okay. So it is it's less than 2 months away.
Friday, May
Um
15th.
There it is, May 15th.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I think the time before they came was that the one I was just mentioning. I was trying to find the date and I wrote down that one. So nevertheless, it's coming in May. So if you want to see and it you want to see the NXT, they've promised a lot of people on the show already that I don't know if they'll fulfill, but at least they've got a pay-per-view this week and the guy who's the champion who's yes, it's this today. The current champion is on the list of people who are going to be coming there. So I don't know. I think it's I mean I'm guessing I'm surprised they're coming back to Riverworks because I thought that they were bigger than that, but that's I don't know yeah, May 15th. The tickets on sale. We're on sale April 1st, so you definitely don't want to miss that. But
You could probably stop by the Riverworks box office either during, what was that, roller derby next week or during ESW the
yeah,
week after, or yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me,
it's a
Riverworks is
Friday. Yeah.
it's still the best wrestling venue for a non-arena show that there is. So, um, cool place to catch a show, but yeah, I don't know. I'll be there a week prior instead.
I'm not sure what other places could actually hold a show like that. I mean, like I remember we saw Ring of Honor in the East, like a Pepsi Arena. Was it Lackawanna? I can't. Uh, there
Oh,
are places,
the North, yeah,
Hammers. Yeah,
yeah. I don't
yeah.
know. I
There's
mean, you can fit a lot of people in Riverworks, as you know. Like, I mean, especially get those bleachers in and stuff. That I I would love to see a collision there. And it's just a hard ticket to get, and it's a sellout or whatever. Like, I prefer that over the half empty arenas. But
yeah, or even Dynamite because I mean, if they do Daly's Place once in a while, they definitely I mean that this kind of reminds me of a little bit with the way it's set up. You can get a bunch of people in there. I mean, the last time they were there in Buffalo it was the KeyBank Center, and it looked
the
good on
E-Tid Christmas shows that used to, I mean, they're still kind of there with the new band, whatever. But those used to sell out at like 3,500 tickets. Now, granted, the ring is taking up a good amount of space there, but you can fit, I mean, thousands of people in there.
True. And I've seen both Ring of Honor and I've seen NXT's been there before. It was a great crowd. That's actually the first time I ever saw Io Sky wrestle. Live. And that was definitely, and they there I'm going to send him a message or something and say, "Hey JB, uh your boy's here in Rochester. Give me some free tickets." No, no, no. I'm kidding. But I definitely, who knows? It's a Friday, depending on if Derby's going on or not. I think then it might be tied up. But yeah, it's coming. So don't forget, May 15th. Tickets are on sale now. If you want to go see I saw this. I've had the last few days off, and I've been watching a lot of these YouTube what culture stuff and things like that with about wrestling, and they're talking about the difference between NXT and everything else in WWE, and they say NXT takes a few more, risks when they're doing like characters things and stuff than WWE would do, and it's like I don't know. It's Shawn Michaels is running the company. He worked for, he was on the main show. I'm guessing it's probably as close as to a main show as possible, but I'm sure if you go, it'll be a lot of fun. So definitely put it down your calendar. They are coming around here. We got TNA coming here next week. So that's coming up, or 2 weeks, is it? Yeah. Well, it's not this week coming up. It's the week. Is it this week? I'm trying to remember now. TNA is coming. They've been obviously promoting people here in town as well, and Syracuse is where they're coming as well, and they're
For
going to
the
be in
week and a
Cleveland.
half.
Yeah, and then they're going to be doing the pay-per-view in Cleveland, the next one, which is Rebellion. That Dolph Ziggler has an open contract for anybody to wrestle, and he's hoping it's going to be MJF because there's been, if you've been following their terse words back and forth on Twitter and other social medias. I guess MJF took personal something that Dolph said on some other radio show or satellite show or whatever he does. And MJF's like, yeah, I'll beat you up if I ever see you. Blah, 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 blah. So there's back. I don't think that you will see MJF wrestling on a TNA pay-per-view though. So they did set up an open challenge or whatever. And it's not, and most likely it's not going to be them, but that's coming up very soon too, as well. In a couple, it's like a week from today, or a week from Friday. That's right. They do their pay-per-views on Friday. So one more thing, and then I'm going to get to the news. John Cena has been, coming back. Finally, a date for him to come back with WWE. He's not wrestling. He's hosting WrestleMania. You know what it means when you host WrestleMania? It means you come out in the beginning, and then they don't see you again. You know, I don't think it's a big deal, but I was kind of thinking John Cena was going to go into the Hall of Fame this year, and that's not the case. So maybe they're waiting another year to put him in the Hall of Fame. They did add a bunch of, we've got Psycho Sid going in. We've got Bad News Brown now, Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles. Trying to think of who else. There was nothing of significance besides, there's, there's the, what the heck were they called? The fake Road Warrior tag team.
Demolition.
Demolition. Sorry. Yeah, they're going into. So I don't care too what one way or the other about that. It's funny that they announced this Kill Tony thing going on there, and it's like they're having a bad enough time selling tickets to WrestleMania. Why are they promoting this thing now? It's like, especially since it's like the after night one of WrestleMania too. So I don't. It's going to be, it's going to be very, they're having, not only are they having a hard time selling tickets to WrestleMania, but the Raw, SmackDown, and every other show that's around it. Makes sense why this NXT Stand and Delivers tonight, because, that'd be another show that they would be half full or maybe less. So they still have, I think that they're probably doing better with some of these discounts on the tickets now. I don't think, it's not going to top what they did last year. And I think, it's funny. I don't know if you guys saw this, but on April 1st, someone put out a funny saying that they canceled the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania next year, and they're going to put it in Cleveland. And I was like, what? And no, it's April 1st. Of course, they're not doing it in Cleveland, but there's still potential that they might have to change that because of what's going on in the Middle East right now. It's like you don't want fans flying into Riyadh to have to dodge freaking drone bombs and stuff. It's not really safe for Americans. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe we'll find out more from the next general manager of SmackDown, Pam Bondi. I assume that's her next job. I don't know.
Yeah. Or Christy Nome, one of them, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So I'm going to jump to some news and we'll get out of here. Let's see. I mentioned John Cena. So I don't know if you saw last night in SmackDown, but Trick Williams came out with Little Yachty. You guys know who Little Yachty is? No?
I'm a little more familiar with Big Yachty. No. I know the name, but no.
Okay, so Little Yachty, I was going to call him Little Yahtzee, but that's not his name. Little Yachty, he came out with Trick Williams, and Trick Williams said, "Will you be with me when I get to take on Sami Zayn at WrestleMania?" And he's like, "Yes." And I don't even know Little Yachty must be a rapper. No, he definitely is a rapper. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that culture.
I thought he was a sailing enthusiast.
Little Yachty, little Dingy. It's his partner, right? Sorry, Little Yachty. Yeah, it sounds like it though. He did invite Lil Yachty to come be in his corner at WrestleMania, so it looks like that's going to be the case. And Pat says, "What? Why did they move NXT to YouTube instead of Peacock? Because Peacock is done with WWE, and YouTube is they have their own YouTube channel, but they don't have anything to put NXT pay-per-views on unless they want us to tell it on a pay-per-view, and because their other streaming services aren't meant for NXT. It's a different brand. So I want to throw that out there. So Little Yachty is going to be at WrestleMania. If you're going to watch Raw this week, you're going to have World Heavyweight Champion Punk, who's going to speak about attacking Roman Reigns last week.
Oh, yay, more talking.
Brock Lesnar and Obafemi appear. And if you've been following this build up, Brock Lesnar is telling Obafemi what to do while he's laying on his back. Put your foot on my chest. You know, he's like, he obviously, a lot of people like Kevin Nash are like, well, Obafemi owes Brock Lesnar a lot because he's doing everything to make this look like it's going to be a big deal, whatever. And Seth Rollins will be opening the show. Obviously now this past week, if you saw, Seth Rollins was attacked by Gunther, and Gunther put a sleeper hold on Seth Rollins until he was out cold on top of the announce table. So Gunther, now we know Gunther is going to be wrestling at WrestleMania. It's going to be Seth Rollins, and this is like by convenience more than anything else. Because
why?
Yeah, because
I guess they're having a match at WrestleMania. Why?
I think Heyman. I think Gunther is part of Heyman's group now. At least people are assuming that. Either that or he paid him to, but paid him to be part of it. But I don't think that, yeah, I mean, you know what? It's not a bad matchup, but it's like nobody was expecting it. Obviously,
there's no build.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Seth Rollins and I think and Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker's not ready to come back yet, even though he's working out. He probably will show up as well. But so Seth Rollins, yeah, he's gonna come out and open the show and talk about getting put to sleep by Gunther on Monday Night Raw. They said that the segment was added. They mentioned it during the commercial break on SmackDown last night, but Monday Night Raw is going to be from Houston, Texas at the Toyota Center. This is like I said, this is the off week for Roman Reigns, and he'll be returned to Raw the week before WrestleMania 42 go home on April 13th. If you're going to watch this week, you're going to get Chris Jericho will address his return live. So it's just not besides coming out and like waiting for the crowd to cheer, he'll also say something. And we're going to get Willow Nightingale versus Queen Aminata for the TBS title. We're going to get Andrade, Takeshita, and Mark Davis versus Darby Allin and Brody King and Jack Perry. Tony Schiavone stated that on Collision that Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay both will be on the Dynamite card as well. It's going to be live from Edmonton, Alberta at the Rogers Place. And they'll also be taping Collision at the same place to air next weekend. And TNA, if you're curious what they're doing this week, we got Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy versus the Righteous in a tables match for the TNA titles. Elena Black versus Myla Grace. So I don't know who Myla Grace is. I know who Ariana Grace is, but so that Rebellion is going to be held Saturday. It's going to be Saturday. I'm wrong. It's not Friday. It's going to be Saturday, April 11th. And of course, this episode of Impact was taped this past week. So you probably can already look for the teasers if you want, or see what happened. Maybe not, but it depends on if you like to be spoiled or not. Mentioned Jericho returned for AEW. Hikaru Shida returned as well, taking on Willow Nightingale. Will Nightingale defended the title? Hopefully they've got something for Shida to do. Hopefully. Josh Alexander is officially on the road to recovery following a recent medical setback. The reigning MLP Canadian champion was forced to miss the Ring of Honor versus MLP Globe Wars event after revealing that he required knee surgery, putting a temporary halt on his in-ring momentum. He actually underwent the procedure and it was successful, so that's a good thing. Lady Frost is a free agent. They reported that the contract for Lady Frost ran out on April 1st. Lady Frost officially became a free agent. Is that a good thing or bad thing? I mean, I like
not anymore.
Not anymore. What'd she do? Say something?
No, I'm just saying. Not MLW immediately signed her.
I saw the MLW had signed Lady Frost, but it's like, is this a bad loss for AEW? I mean, they weren't using.
No, they weren't using her. I she's well, I can't say that yet, but it's she's a very athletic wrestler, like out of the Pittsburgh area, that I think will do a lot of things with non-televised. I don't know. I was a little surprised that she signed with MLW so quickly. But maybe NXT like didn't have interest. I don't know. With that, I mean, I guess just for somebody to hit free agency and then hours later sign with MLW, to me is a sign that was the best option available. So I don't know. I mean, good for her for landing that. I think she'll get more exposure there than not. I don't remember the last time she was on AEW TV. So
She'd show up on Collision and like every month and would lose to somebody. But I like Lady Frost. I definitely I wish her best of luck. But yeah, but it's interesting is I remember a week ago there she was like, well, my contract runs out in a week, and I haven't heard anything yet. So I'm guessing that she knew. That's why she probably had MLW all set up to go in case that was what the case was. So. But continue. I'm sure we'll see Lady Frost again sometime. It's interesting is TNA Knockouts division.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, I'm sure TNA Knockouts division. Danny Luna officially asked for her release from TNA this past week. That's the second woman in the last couple of weeks who have asked for their release from TNA women's division. Champion, of course, Ariana. Who was it was Steph Lander, who also asked for her release and was released a couple weeks ago. And so
and then Mance did the same thing. Yep.
Yeah, and as I say, Gail Kim is the one who's like, see, the women's division is terrible in TNA, and this is just proof of it. You're like letting these people go. They're not even they're asking for their releases, and you're giving them to them. So
the TNA Knockouts champion right now, is that an NXT wrestler? Did you say?
No, it's Ariana Grace. It's well, she was an NXT wrestler, but now I don't know. I only see her on TNA now, but that's Santino Marella's daughter.
Yeah.
And I will say she's very green when it comes to wrestling, but they hide it well in her matches. And she also has like Stacks, Lorenzo Stacks there, that is her boyfriend and ends up helping her win pretty much every match. So, and she also kind of turned on her dad, and she uses the Cobra as well. And it's not a competitive women's league. I mean, I don't think it is, at least, because there's only a few people that really get highlighted. So it makes sense that some people are like, I don't.
Sounds like some pretty terrible booking then, considering how many talented women they either had or still have.
Yeah, and then it's like, and they said, well, I'd rather be used or sit home instead of being in catering. And I'm sure TNA doesn't pay as well as anybody else does, even on the downside of these contracts. If they, especially they probably don't fly you out if they're not using you. And so it's interesting. The last match that Danny Luna wrestled was March 27th against Li Ying Lee, and the reigning TNA champion. And Luna hit the open market across multiple promotions pretty much after they asking for the release after that match this past week. So, or was it a week? Yeah, it was a week ago. We'll wish Danny Luna.
Well, and even, Steph DeLander, like she's been pretty, like, not disparaging, but just open about like why she kind of wanted.
Her injury has stopped them from booking her in matches. Pretty much, they were booking her as a valet. But
and there's been issues with other wrestlers where it's been a lot of like, all right, you're getting paid per date in TNA on a lot of those contracts, but you're reserving the date, and then TNA, like, not long enough before the show is like, we don't need you. And so now you're not getting paid, and you passed on other bookings for that day. And that's, I mean, you're not making enough. If you're only getting paid per appearance and you're not appearing, you're not making enough money to just live off of the TNA contract, so to speak, the agreement. That I think I don't know if that applies to any of the people that were just mentioned, but I mean, it's a tough situation for a lot of these wrestlers to be in, where it's not the same thing as like a full AEW or NXT, WWE deal, whatever.
Yeah.
So
They also dictate what bookings you can take and not take and stuff like that. And I think that if you have to turn down a lot of bookings, that would make you more money than just showing, just finding out weekly that, you're $500, they're not going to need you or whatever. I think I can understand, why people would want to leave, especially when they're not being used the way they think they should be, to advance their career. So it makes sense. And it happens everywhere, I mean, Lady Frost is a perfect example. Said, you know what? I'm sure Lady Frost was offered a contract, but not anything different than what she's got. And she wants something different. So, it's like, okay, I have a 2-year contract with AEW. I'm going to leave now or whatever. So,
he
but
might have been on one of those tier 0 deals like Willie Mack is again, where you're only getting paid when you come in. And that's not something that a wrestler, I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty with that kind of stuff. If you're getting used regularly, great. But if you're not, then you're kind of screwed in a lot of ways. And that type of stuff, I mean, it is really tricky because there are a lot of wrestlers right now who work for TNA or an AEW tier 0 deal or NWA or MLW, a lot of these companies where you rely on your outside bookings to supplement and make everything work. And when you have to pass up on those other bookings, or you have one of those companies saying like, well, wait a minute, like you can't work that indie show unless they pay for this and this. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff with that kind of thing, that it's just these people on these deals have to go through a lot to try to make ends meet sometimes, or to be able to just accept other bookings. I will say I've heard that AEW has become more lenient in terms of the accepting other bookings. Like it's not maybe as difficult or whatever as it once was in terms of getting things approved to work these other shows. So that's good. But I mean, if you're under a contract and you're only getting paid per appearance, and then companies telling you like a day or two before you're supposed to fly out, like, yeah, we don't need you, that's not great.
no, definitely. And I'm sure that's the thing about, TNA and even AEW. AEW, they also have first refusal on if you're, if you're doing an indie show and say you're also tending to wrestle someone from say TNA, they might negate that because TNA is competition.
There's
And
a lot of that. Yeah.
TNA does have a relationship with WWE, which they probably don't let people wrestle TNA people as well. So we don't see a lot of, or AEW people, I mean, so we don't probably see a lot of that. But yeah, there's
It's I mean, I could say this, like it's a little bit more on the side of not necessarily you can't wrestle them, but in this world of scripted entertainment, you can't lose to them.
that's it. Yeah,
Happens a lot, and that's which then sometimes means like, all right, well, the match can't happen if somebody's a champion or whatever the case is. But that's something that indie promoters run into frequently. So
I was gonna say, I believe when 2CW had that one show and you had the 2CW Women's Champ on the show, right? You had some issues with that at the time. Um,
I think which I don't know, there's a lot of examples that come to mind of both past and future shows. But I don't know. More than anything, the first thing that will always come to mind to me is the very last match in the history of the Ballpark Brawl, um, with Samoa Joe and Rikishi and Sterling James Keenan, aka Corey Graves. Yeah.
Rikishi's not. I'm not losing. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, you're kind of the guy that should be here, but yeah. But Rikishi's just going to be Rikishi, so
Yeah. He's got a track record. So by the way, I mentioned 2CW. Did I see that they have another date set now? Or was that a joke? Just I thought I saw sometime in December that they had another date set or something coming up.
Oh boy. There's there will be more shows.
Okay. That
Um,
it was put on their Facebook page or something about
yeah, there's not a specific date booked yet, but later in 2026, that's where we're in, right? Yeah, that there will be more 2CW coming. So I had a feeling when we were signing off the broadcast in November that that was not the end. And so it wasn't. But
there
yeah,
you go.
don't really know exactly much more on that. I'll be more involved in it when it comes a little bit more concrete and closer, I guess.
I was gonna say
But
we are in April and they mentioned December, so I mean that's a it's a trek from now, you know.
yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of I's that need to be dotted and T's that need to be crossed to get everything ready to run, within a calendar year with athletic commission and the bonds and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So I know some stuff is in progress, but I don't know. I wouldn't expect it before, in my mind, September at the earliest.
Okay.
But yes, yeah, later on, I mean into I don't know, hopefully not like the dead of winter if we're talking like driving to Binghamton and stuff, but
Oh
we'll
boy.
see.
I was gonna say that there was a teaser there, so I definitely saw that.
Yes.
Then again,
Yeah.
this past week was April Fool's Day, and so it wasn't. I don't think it was on April Fool's Day. So, but it was anything that could be deemed a joke, much like the Danhausen donating your teeth thing to his jar. Anything can happen. But let me get back to some news, and we'll get out of here. Congratulations in order for Steve Carino, former ECW world champion. He surprised his significant other in Times Square, New York, with a proposal impromptu wedding held on the spot. He currently works as a coach at the WWE Performance Center, Orlando, Florida.
I'm glad you
Congratulations, Steve.
mentioned him because that just reminded me that I still need to watch him versus Joey Janela from last weekend. Because I don't know when the last time was that Steve Carino had a wrestling match, but he had one with Joey Janela, and I can't wait to watch it. So
There you go. And
I didn't
Steve,
think we were going to get to see Steve Carino wrestle again. So
he's friend of the show, and he was back when ECW was still going, we could call him anytime and he'd come on. So he was definitely and he was a great speaker. He's the one who introduced Rhino to the world, the next big thing, quote unquote, Rhino. So it was a long time ago. So congratulations, Steve, on your nuptials. I think he did it in like down in Times Square. Yeah, it was Times Square is where everything happened. So I saw a picture from it and it was like, man, how do you just like do that in Times Square? But then again, Times Square is kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like it's a weird area in which
Get
all
it
sorts.
officiated by the Naked Cowboy or
That's what I was
Elmo.
gonna say. The Naked Cowboy or Elmo may have had something to do with it. So
wait, so if there's fake ass Manhattan Times Square Elmo,
yeah,
I'm is there a fake Rocco? Do we know this reference or do we not know this reference? But
I don't, but I'm assuming it's an Elmo like character, possibly.
Yes,
oh,
Rocco will never learn to float.
And
Rocco, oh,
I know
you got
Rocco's
some
Modern
homework.
World. Was it that Rocco? No.
Rocco's Modern Life? No,
Rocco's
not
Modern
that.
Life.
No, that Rocco's cool. This Rocco is. Uh, uh, Elmo has had a 22-year feud now. I just learned. I didn't realize it's been going on this
He
long
hates Rocco.
with
Wow.
his friend Zoe's pet rock Rocco, who Zoe just gaslights Elmo about, and Elmo gets super upset and is ready to crash out at any time. Because yeah, it's worth looking up every single clip that's ever happened because Elmo's just ready to lose it all the time. And if I'm booking a WrestleMania main event, it's Elmo against Rocco that
There you
would
go.
actually put butts in the seats.
Yeah, I feel
So
like I figure out why Rocco or why Elmo has such anger issues.
no, this is on Zoe. Zoe's the problem.
Oh,
Elmo's got to let go of that friendship. I strongly believe that her gaslighting is out of control. So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, so
Join
yeah,
us
so
next week for the Elmo Rocco podcast because I'm
I
all in.
still, yeah, I have still not seen the Muppet Show on Disney Plus, and I've got to watch that. You know, the newest one they did
I have not seen
recently.
that yet.
So some other news: WWE has booked a return to Madison Square Gardens. They will be there for Saturday night's main event, which is going to take place in New York City on July 18th. So then they'll be back in MSG. Uh, this is interesting. Coming out this week, which premieres this month. No, a week from Monday. Uh, Peacock has a show called The Heartbreak Kid Becoming Shawn Michaels. Premieres April 13th. It's Peacock's latest original documentary in partnership with WWE, featuring exclusive behind the scenes access with one of the greatest performers of all time. Excuse me, and chronicled the career of the WWE Hall of Famer. This intimate look at Michael spotlights his incredible ability, personal struggles that led to one of the most improbable redemption stories in WWE history. And boy, they write that well, don't they? Viewers will be taken on a journey through his life while also getting an inside look at Michael's role as head of WWE's developmental brand NXT. The documentary features commentary from several WWE Hall of Famers, including WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque, The Undertaker, Kevin Nash, Bret Hart, as well as WWE superstars Trick Williams and Javon Evans. Additional interviews include NXT superstars Joe Henry, Ethan Page, JC Jane, Sol Ruka, Sean Spears. The Heartbreak Kid Becoming Shawn Michaels is executive produced by Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting, and Ben Hauser. Surprise, surprise. So that'll be starting on Peacock on April 13th. If you're a Shawn Michaels fan, I know we all like Shawn Michaels in one aspect or the other. You know, I mean, you know, he was the he was the pinnacle main point of the business for a bit. We did have his ups and downs. Everybody does, you know. So I don't know.
He's still one of my favorite wrestlers of all
Yeah,
time.
I appreciate the
I will
time.
say I've been in some big discussions in terms of who was better, 90s Shawn Michaels or 2000 Shawn Michaels. And I was surprised at how many people were on the opposite side of me because I go 90s. But no, he's in ring. He's still a legend.
He had a great run after coming back from that back injury. So
He did. He did.
He had a great run, and and he also retired Ric Flair. He had two matches with the Undertaker on WrestleMania that were unbelievable. At least the first one was. I think they both were. But he's definitely he one time guest on the show when he was at a NASCAR event, which was pretty cool. So right after WrestleMania, where Triple H got burned by the pyros coming down, and we talked a little bit about that. So, but he, I will watch it definitely. I mean, I remember Shawn Michaels. The first time I ever saw him is part of the Rockers on AWA Wrestling. So that was the Midnight Rockers, they called, and they used to come out to Judas Priest, Living After Midnight night. So one more thing, and then we'll get out of here. TNA Stand and Deliver is tonight, St. Louis, Missouri. The main event's Joe Henry, Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page versus Tony D'Angelo, four-way for the NXT Championship. JC Jane versus Lola Vice versus Kendall Gray in a triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes versus Bravo and Rayo for the NXT Tag Team titles. And I believe Bravo and Rayo, aren't they the I don't know who they are, to be honest with you. I think they're the guys.
I've never heard those names before.
Bravo and Rayo. I think they're the new names for the masked Mexican wrestlers that have appeared over the last year or so. I'm not sure. I could be wrong completely. Tatum Paxley versus Blake Monroe for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Miles Bourne, very lucky man, versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. Johnny Gargano won the match to get in this one by the cursing of Danhausen on other people. And Johnny Gargano, he was doing the planking thing for a while where he was just kind of like laying flat everywhere. Well, they just rolled him in the ring and he got the win because the other guy got counted out. It was kind of insane. Sol Ruka versus Zarya, her best friend. Rapper Sexy Red, who was on SmackDown last night, appears. On the pre-show, Birthright, the group of Birthright known as Charlie Dempsey, Lexus King, Uriah Connors, Channing, Stax Lorenzo, and Ariana Grace versus Hank Waller, Tank Ledger, Eli Knight, Shiloh Hill, and Ren Sinclair in a 10-person tag match. And that's all tonight for free on YouTube, the WWE YouTube channel. You can find it internationally on Netflix as well. So that's going on tonight. We have no AEW tonight, no Collision, because we saw that on Thursday night, which, like I said, once again, it was fun to have a night, where you could spend the whole night watching wrestling again. It's like, what a personal life I got. Woohoo. No, but Ben, is there anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here? I'm trying to think.
I know tonight I'll be watching GCW from LA at 11 o'clock, which includes the contract signing between Brody Lee Jr. and Joey Janela for their match in a couple of weeks. And then, ESW coming up May 8th, including Bill Collier against Cruel. So 6.
Is he going to be better from his stabbing?
Oh boy, yeah. I by all accounts, Cruel is good.
Is that the dude? Is that the dude who got stabbed last week?
Who got stabbed?
First it was
Eagles Club.
Yeah. First he was stabbed, and then it was someone just assaulted. Came in to assault him, and I'm not really sure if there was actually a stabbing involved.
I didn't see the actual stabbing, and obviously, like after the fact, like if you watch the video, he's standing right by those stairs to the main doors to the Berwyn Eagles Club, like watching the dude just getting beat up by Schlack and others. But
yeah, a whole bunch of people just kicking the guy.
If he's standing there, he's probably okay. Like it probably wasn't the worst stabbing, but yeah. How do I put this? Some deathmatch wrestling fans are idiots. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't the.
You could just say wrestling fans.
That too. And if they only met Cruel, they would know he's literally the nicest dude in professional wrestling. So obviously his character portrays a monster. But yeah, really looking forward to Cruel and Bill Collier. That's I think 6'10" versus 6'6" or 6'7". But it's going to be that's the main event of ESW Brawl Fest, and I literally, to me, it's one of the most anticipated indie matches ever. I don't know. I mean, it's a first time match. It's gonna be really, really fun. So
that's cool. I was gonna say a week from today, after we get done next week's show, I'm running to Riverworks to announce some roller derby. But I'm gonna ask about the NXT show there and stuff, and I'm sure that they'll have all sorts of information, but I'm looking forward to that, as well as 2 weeks from today is for night 1 of WrestleMania. 2 weeks from tomorrow is night 2 of WrestleMania. And is it drawn enough to be of interest? I don't know. Like I said, I like the matchups. I mean, obviously I think Punk and Reigns, I'm looking forward to see how the company decides on what becomes of that matchup. But on that note, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys in the chat room, Dan, Tom, Pat, all you guys, Tim, Adam, Romper, Bumper, Stomper, who, that's right.
Tony Bob, Cliff.
Miss Rita sees you. Beyond that, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank you guys. You guys have a great week. We'll be back next week. The penultimate show before Mania weekend, I guess you could say.
Oh, wow. We're breaking out a penultimate. It's not even noon yet. All right.
But we do have a pay-per-view next week, Dynasty, AEW Dynasty, which we will hit heavy. So we'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back same bat time, same bat channel next week, right here